Hey boys and girls, how we all doing this fine evening? So today we are doing some prime rib. We got a 3-bone prime roast here. This is just a simple open air, dry age in the fridge, 10 days, that's it. Nothing crazy, nothing ridiculous, just gives it a nice dryness, a little bit of flavor, builds a nice crust, it's good stuff. So we're gonna do that, but what we're gonna do differently tonight than I normally do is we are going to encrust it and encapsulate the roast in a garlic herb marrow butter, aka God butter. Now you can see how I made the God butter in the other video. Quick rundown: femurs, split open, seasoned with a little ancho, a little S&P, and a little thyme. Tossed in the smoker and some oat for about 25-30 minutes. Cooled. We mixed it with some sweet cream, blended it together, rolled it into a log, chilled it in the fridge. So, like I said, you can see those details in the other video. So, let me grab the butter. Let's do this. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Carry on. Carry on. So here is some that I did not log. This is basically just raw form. So, let me glove up. Right here we have garlic. Oh, here, let me show you what's going on. My bad. All right, so we have garlic. So let's do that. It's about 5 cloves. My rule of thumb is start with 5 cloves, add more if needed. It's chopped. Here we got some tarragon. Here we got some dill weed. Over here, we got some oregano. Over here, we got some thyme. And right here, we have some basil. All chopped up, ready to go. So we're gonna put that in our butter. Man, I need to get you guys a little closer, don't I? And we are gonna just mix this up. Give her a little bit. Now normally I would add a little bit of my, the rub that I'm putting on the roast in here, but with the God butter, I honestly don't think it'll need it. I'm pretty sure that there is plenty of flavor going on in there right now. So we'll save that for the roast itself. Let that penetrate the meat. So, there we go. That's what we get. Garlic herb God butter. So, now, let's give the roast some attention, shall we? Here we got this bad boy here. Try to bring you guys a little bit closer. Sorry about that. Okay, so what I like to do with my prime ribs, for one, I like to make sure the fat caps is even. So when I do cut my steaks out, one isn't just a ton of fat, ton of cud, all that stuff. I don't want to take too much off because, you know, it's prime rib, that's the good stuff. So I'm just gonna basically cut along here where the other top is and just take this riser off because it just got a little high for me. So we're just gonna lose that guy. Now, I know a lot of people cut down through their bones, pull them back, tie them up, all that other stuff. I don't do that because when I cut my roasts out of the full roast, when I do my butchering, I always do 3-bone roast because it's perfect for our family. But then I have flat surface on this bone and a flat surface on this bone. So when I cut my prime rib out, I can cut along this bone and I still have a nice piece of prime rib with it bone in. So that's just how I like it. So I leave those intact. But what I do, so I don't have to deal with it later, is I take my knife and I get this hard skin that goes over the bones because it's nasty. And it will tighten everything up. It lets the roast not, like when you're cooking it, it doesn't contract, it doesn't expand, it doesn't do what it's gotta do. I find that it holds it, you know? It's almost like putting something tight around the roast. It doesn't let it do what it wants because it's not pliable at all. So I get it out of there. And that's it. That's all we're doing to this bad boy. Because that's all it needs. Now, let's get to the fun. So we're going to put it on this guy right here. I always start, I cook them. Yes, I'm probably gonna get a ton of email on this, but some of the roasts, when you cut them, they wanna do that. They refuse to stand on the bone rack. Now I like to use the, in most of my other meats, I'll always cook fat cap down. Not worth the argument. I know some people, no. That's how I do it. With the ribeyes, as long as I keep the bones in, which is another reason why I don't slice and tie and all that nonsense, is use the bone rack as a pan, you know? So we're gonna start just like that. And we're gonna glove up because it's about to get messy. It's about to get messy. Fantastically, deliciously messy. So, we're gonna take some of our God butter here and we're gonna coat it. Don't be afraid. The thicker the coat, we're gonna refrigerate this a little bit. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention. I bring my roasts out a good hour before I do this. So that way my roast gets to room temperature real damn close anyway. And then that way, when I coat it with the butter, if I was to put it on right now, all the butter would just run off, it wouldn't do anything, you know? So what I do is I coat it while it's at room temperature, I put it in the fridge. It only takes 25, 30 minutes for that butter to create like a cocoon around the beef. Then the inside of the meat still is close to room temperature. So you're starting it well. And what happens is as the butter starts to melt, it's with the herbs in it and everything that's in it, it starts to just form this crust. And it builds this beautiful crust on the outside of the meat. Not to mention it just throws tons of flavor at it, tons of everything at it. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure we get it everywhere. All these little ledges. If you see a little shelf because the meat's coming out, use it. Stick some butter in it because it'll hold it. Man, if you could smell this stuff, holy hell, it is fantastic. I'm gonna get this side here, get a nice coat, like finger painting with beef and bone marrow. It's the big boy's finger paint. Gonna get some down here. I'm not gonna bother with the rib side because it'll just melt off there in seconds anyway, because that's where the heat will be concentrated. So we're not even gonna play that game. So now I'm gonna stand her up to where she's gonna be cooking, so I can get some love all over it. I'm gonna get this side. See how nice that's looking? Oh man. Now picture that look right there, but browner and golden and delicious. That's what you end up with. You know, I'd like to mention also, since I did do the video for the God butter, I don't think I mentioned it here. That is approximately 4 bones, femurs of marrow, and 2 sticks of salted sweet cream butter. So. Gravity really takes care of most of this, but we're just gonna put a coat on there anyway because it'll form a little. It'll give it a little love. That's it. That is beautiful. Oh, jeez. See that? Can't even break beast nitrils when you try to, man. All right, here we go. Check it out. Look at that. Is that beautiful? Oh man, you can smell it. You can smell it. So, all right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw that in the fridge. Gonna get the pit going. I like to do them about 275 and run her right on through. Right around when they get around the 90-degree mark, I usually bump her up to about 325, and because I want to keep it a little bit lower so the butter has a chance to do what it's supposed to do. And then the 325 just sets it all off, gives it its color, and just makes it more delicious. So by 225, by the time it's at 90, 95 degrees, most of the fat is rendered to where it's gonna be. There's no worry about pumping that heat up. Nothing's gonna tighten up on you. Nothing will hurt. So I'm gonna toss this in the fridge, like I said, probably 25, 30 minutes while the pit gets warmed up, and we'll throw it on the pit.